Ladies and gentlemen, goblins and ghouls,
Welcome to Turn Off the Century.
the movie podcast exploring films from the turn of the millennium through the end of its first decade. I'm Robbie, and I'm joined by my fellow auteurs, Hunter and Sauce. Hang out as we revisit the spoofs, bangers, crimes, and chaos of an era we're still trying to understand. Today's movie, the 2005 Jet Li classic,
Unleashed.
Freud was a genius, and his whole thing was that if you dream something, it means something else.
Yeah.
The girls, the island, the drink, they were just symbols. What they actually represent. Danny, what do you want?
I want a piano.
See these things? They're called notes.
I want a piano.
How about a woman? You've never had a woman.
I want a piano.
Danny, you're starting to piss me off.
I want a piano.
This is gonna be one lovely day.
welcome to Turn Off the Century. I'm here with my fellow auteurs, Sauce on, Hunter. How's it going, boys?
I think Sauce has turned into the goblin.
Oh no, he's going goblin mode again.
Let me just, the more I drink, the more it goes away. But I always never know which one of us, me or Hunter, should go first. But I'm going to default to Hunter saying something. That gives me more time.
You just have to go for it, because podcasting is about being an alpha male, and you have to be an alpha male in this situation.
I was born a Sigma, like I can't control it.
This is our new podcast, Sigma Males.
So quiet. Oh shit! But it's males. Never mind. I'm abandoning that joke. Bail. So we watched the 2005 classic Unleashed, starring Jet Li, Bob Hoskins. That's Mario himself.
Morgan Freeman, Carrie Condon, and a whole slew of British guys that some of them eventually either end up on Game of Thrones or Andor.
This all checks out.
Yep.
I was actually very excited when I saw Morgan Freeman, it's been a long time since I've been excited to see Morgan Freeman, but I was like, oh, hey, it's Morgan Freeman.
He's reliable as ever. That man loves a paycheck, and is clearly evidenced by this movie.
What are you talking about? This movie was almost good.
It has moments.
It has moments.
Out of you guys, do you guys remember ever catching the trailer back in the day? Because I'm going to get into some like high school spectrometer things that I engaged in. But
what about the trailer?
So, just a little preamble. When I was in high school, I loved just movie trailers, and I think by the time the internet got good enough that you could stream 1,000 of them a day, like I watched the trailer for everything, even things that were out, things that were coming out. And remember the trailer from this just instantaneously won me over, being like, I have to see this opening night. This is about me. This is everything I need in a movie, including my first exposure to the band Muse, which became a mainstay in my Gen 1 iPod shortly after watching this trailer. Had never even heard of them until I saw it.
Wait, they had Muse in the trailer?
Yeah.
What song was it?
Apocalypse Please. It's just the piano part, which lends itself to this movie. At least it's on brand that they put a song about pianos in a movie about being a dog or hurting
about
people,
a piano,
having a family, and most importantly, pianos, which ties all those things together.
I find it very funny that you saw a trailer about Jet Li in a dog collar. You're like, this is about me. This is me, man.
This was also like, for me,
I'm also an animal who needs to be unleashed.
Exactly. Oh no, the title drop, which is different than the European. This is a European production.
I couldn't tell.
Written by Luc Besson. And I believe
you don't say.
I wrote several times in my notes, the most written by Luc Besson movie I've seen. Because I think he straight up shadow directed this.
100%.
But I believe it's the first movie of Louis Leterrier of Transporter 2 fame, as well as other movies you've seen. That
now we're talking.
Definitely seem like he is like the French Len Wiseman, if that makes sense, as we're going to get into Underworld, I'm sure, in another episode.
Absolutely. And also, Transporter 2, that movie kicks ass. So
I remember it was one of those where I took my family to see it, and them also getting very mad. I think they're just mad at the fact that he drives a car off a ramp that just shows up randomly and knocks the bomb off with like a crane. Like it just they immediately were like, let's just go home. And I'm like, but it's not over yet. And they're like, no, get your shit, let's go. And it was there can be a scene sometimes so bad that it ruins the whole movie. But this is where I think he got his chops. And much in the same way, I think that there was this passing the torch era going on in the 2000s where
absolutely
directors would write a movie and then bring in one of their boys, usually I'm assuming one of their production crew, either like an assistant director or whatever.
Someone who's probably worked with them on previous movies and okay, I'll give you this movie.
I have the same theory with V for Vendetta. I think the Wachowskis like covertly directed that and just gave it to James McTeague, but they literally sat there going like, here's where you want to put the camera, here's where you're going to want to put Natalie Portman, here's where you're going to want to And
do
I'm
you just want to do this?
This is a prime example of that. So, I don't know. How about just like before we get into what it's about, like thoughts?
Yeah.
Robbie put it, I think, best. It's constantly almost a good movie.
It comes so close so many times to me going, hey, I kind of like this, and then it falls off every single. It comes up short every single time.
So this is my first time I've seen this. It's a blind spot for me. I've seen a lot of other Jet Li stuff from the era, but it's so close. I'm with Robbie. It's very close to being fun and interesting, but there's so many just overused tropes. There's just so, like, it's moving fast and saying nothing, and it thinks it's saying something. It's one of those movies where it always feels like it's like, oh, I've got something to say about this, and it's not saying anything. It is the most Luc Besson, not Luc Besson movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yes. I wrote down, this movie is perfect for 18-year-old dumbasses. You know?
That seems to be a lot of our movie choices, by the way.
Absolutely. Because a lot of these movies we saw when we were 18, and I remember watching this. I think, Sauce, did me and you see this together?
I think we had to have. Yeah, because
I'm pretty sure we did.
I always remember...
We were both Jet Li guys.
It sticks out to me, and it's pretty early in the movie, but I remember riding in the car with you, and you kept going, I want a piano. And
I forgot I even did that, but that's awesome.
Yeah, like you're just like locked in on that. No, I want a piano, and I think this also came out in that same time where for those lore heads, those auteur lore heads out there. Me and Robbie both had early release in high school every other day.
Oh yeah,
but on the same every other day. So we would go to Hollywood Video, Carl's Jr. and Hollywood Video.
And Hollywood Video, that's right.
Yeah, we became so well acquainted with the guy who worked there. I want to say his name was Daryl, but we just called him Home Dog, and I think he liked that. And he just we would rent a handful of movies, and he would just also just comp half of them and be like, "I'm glad that you boys come here and you just rent movies." And he just
That's
a
awesome.
good the universe sends you a friend who puts cinema in your life. And I remember one of the weekends it was I rented a couple of Jet Li movies as well as the PS2 hit video game Rise to Honor. So we were talking about Jet Li coming to America, saturation, how is he? Isn't he just another, Jackie Chan style guy?
Jackie Chan, yeah.
He's not.
And I think that's
he's his own man.
He's his own
that's
guy.
What we get from this movie is it felt like he had already kind of come to America with Lethal Weapon 4, and
that's right.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, and one of them we're gonna end up watching for this down the road, between the one, which is I think his first we made this for America, but as well as Kiss of the Dragon, another great.
I haven't seen Kiss of the Dragon in a long time.
Cradle of the
His actual
Grave,
best movie, and it still kind of follows this this movie where it's very clearly a French European production, but they wanted to bring over some of the best of China and Hong Kong cinema. So we have Jet Li in the lead, and we also have first credit when the credit roll starts is Yuen Wo-ping, famous martial arts choreographer. If in the West, you'll definitely know him from literally Kill Bill Volume 1. The entire Crazy 88 scene is all him, as well as The Matrix, all three of them. So,
wow.
Yeah, he was a big name for this time period specifically.
Yeah, and I think for people to be exposed to something actually outside of Jackie Chan was good. But then
so we want to just start getting into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So the quick start of the premise, and I think this is why this movie kind of meant something to everybody involved. Luc Besson is giving this to his friend Louis Leterrier, although he wrote it. They're bringing over Jet Li, Yuen Wo-ping, and something I've noticed in all of the Jet Li movies, at least the ones that were either they brought over some of the Chinese ones to America, or or Hong Kong ones to America, and I did actually verify. I noticed the way he differentiates himself from Jackie Chan is he plays almost a ruthless machine-like martial artist. He's everything from Romeo Must Die to
his martial arts are very. He's very much about punching and kicking a lot. He's not about making things look pretty necessarily the way Jackie Chan does it. He makes it look brutal.
Yeah.
And
he has
harsh.
none of the Buster Keaton inspiration.
It's kind of, when I watch his fight scenes compared to something like Jackie Chan, with Jackie Chan there's like that comedy angle to it, and you use the scenery in different ways. I feel like he's making a comedy act as part of it. With Jet Li, it feels like you're watching an exaggerated version of something like in the UFC where they're like getting punched in the chest over and over again, or like you're getting like an actual fight and he's trying to kill the person that he's opposed to.
Yeah, and what separates this from all those other movies is that for the first time he doesn't play this like heartless machine or this ruthlessly efficient, stone cold killer. He's actually trying to act, and unfortunately
he's trying really
definitely
hard.
trying.
He's trying really hard.
Yes, but the fact that he's trying to play
he comes
a
close
more
a couple
innocent
times to
character.
being good.
It's an almost innocent character. He plays a very childlike, and then that mixed with the
he plays a
conceit of him
dog.
being a dog. Yes,
Yep.
So the European title for this movie was Danny the Dog.
Danny the
instead of
Dog,
Unleashed.
yeah.
And
I actually kind of like that a little more.
I get why they
I think that's a
changed
better
it.
title.
I understand just based on marketing why they changed it here in the West. That we're also it's the era where a lot of French movies would come out and be brought over, translated, or a new version would come out over here.
Yeah.
And they would
Yes.
change the name. There was always like what Little Man in the City or something like that. Jungle to Jungle came back over here and stuff like that.
Right.
Yes, like a remake.
And then they brought Amelie over,
Yeah.
and it was called Little French Girl, and it's like, okay.
Or it's the fantastic life of one Amelie, wherever she lives. It's like a very like fun whimsical, and I'm like, it almost kind of makes it land a little harder. But Danny the Dog being the title also of who did the soundtrack for this movie, it is entirely done by Massive Attack, featuring some parts by the RZA.
Which I pointed, I as I was watching it, I was like, damn, the music's really good. And I think you had pointed out to me that Massive Attack did the music, and I went, oh, wait, that makes so much sense. 'cause
Perfect sense.
This music rocks.
Yeah.
And they were also reaching, at this point, some peak relevance in the United States for being the people who did the intro theme to House on Fox.
Oh,
That's
right.
true.
Laurie
Wow.
doctor drama where he's essentially Sherlock
Talking
Holmes
about-
but a doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, British shit right there with Hugh Laurie.
Yeah, this
so.
was a very
Yeah, so-
British movie. Holy.
very British movie.
Yeah, and the amount of times I wrote in my notes, England sucks, dude.
Dude, first off, England looks bad color graded. It looks real
Oh
bad.
my god. Dude, that's one of the first things I know, because I think the first note I wrote down was very 2005 intro. Just so much blue and gray, and just
You couldn't tell. You
kinda-
couldn't see anything in the first scene. It was just so gross looking.
I watched this
which
with,
I mean I think is the point.
yeah. I watched this with a friend, and I sent you guys, it's literally on YouTube for free. If you can find it, have at it, boys. But I remember like 2 minutes
That's how I
into
watched it.
It was 720p. He turned it off and was like, "Sell me $4. We're gonna rent this right now." Because like I'm not doing this shit. You know? If it's gonna be this dark and this grainy, like let's at least like let's get a few more P's in there. Like gotta jump from 720 to 1080 at least.
So yeah, let's start at the beginning where we're at in the story with Danny the dog.
So we're introduced to a low-level gangster. I mean, truly like low level. It's pretty astonishing how much Bob Hoskins plays Bart, the not even a surrogate father. He refers to himself as an uncle, surrogate uncle to Jet Li's Danny, a borderline mute man kept in rags and a collar around his neck. And they explain the premise pretty quickly in the beginning that he's a very docile mute kind of slave, and
Yeah, essentially a slave, especially with the collar.
yeah, his prime function is anytime Bart, Bob Hoskins' character, has to do collections, people always give him a hard time because he's so low level. He's always dealing with scumbags who just do not pay. And the conceit is, I take off his collar, he becomes unleashed. And Jet Li does his most Jet Li, where this opening action scene, absolutely, like, I have... So when you're writing a screenplay, and I went to film school, so as if I... who's the most embarrassing...
Can you tell me a little bit more about
who's the most embarrassing third mic of this podcast? You're not supposed to write action so intensely. It's usually like you can put like they fight, you can usually put in that there's a turn, but you're supposed to, structurally, typically, like, not choreograph it in the script. I always said fuck that shit, like, because I had very intentional things that I wanted to put in there, and I absolutely stole so much from this opening scene in most of my college era scripts in this, and there's a brutality where it's like I said, he's not even efficient, he still gets knocked around a bit, but the way he absolutely fucks people
He's just
up.
ruthless.
He's like a kung fu
my main
pinball
thing,
ball.
if you remember, like, where he's just slamming the guys in the head, slamming the guy's head into the ground repeatedly. Absolutely, like, I like a good action movie where it hurts the audience to even watch it.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
One problem I did have, though, and this is a dumb nitpick, but when he takes the collar off him and he says, "Get him," I'm like, why didn't they do "sick him"?
That's
Is that
true.
is that like a lost in translation thing? Is it like a British thing? Do they not say sick?
Yeah,
Maybe.
because
Oh, I didn't think about that.
that's the only thing I could think of, because I'm like, that seems like such an obvious thing to write for this movie.
Also, it could be
Yeah.
because they do focus on him saying "get him" multiple times in the movie. Maybe that just is supposed to be what they say.
That's like the British
Yeah.
version of "sick 'em."
Could be.
Yeah, like maybe it's just something they don't have. because
British people,
they had
sound
slavery
off in the
differently
comments.
Than we did.
But also, I had a real problem with the beginning of this movie in a lot of ways, just because the movie won't shut the fuck up as far as, like, editing is concerned.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's a victim of that
won't
hyper
slow
music
down.
video. Like as music videos were dying, there was this like need to push this like hyper stylized music video style editing into movies that you're stuck in for an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah. And not only that, so I think I was saying to Hunter earlier, I think the action is actually kind of one of the weaker aspects of this movie.
Yes,
just because
I'm
I
there
don't think there's a
agree
whole
with you. Except for this
not
first
a whole
scene.
lot
Straight
of-
up, except for this
the
first scene.
The first scene's probably the best action scene. But yeah, I think there was something weird with the action where it felt like all the action was missing a story to it, where none of the fight scenes are really telling a story other than this guy is an unstoppable monster.
You're missing the in-ring
that
storytelling.
comes from the Luc Besson element of it, where like I feel like he's so in this Western style of how you make an action movie, where everything is really like set piece spectacle, not the intricacies of what the human body is capable of.
Right.
If that makes sense, I hope.
Oh,
Yeah, I
makes
think
total
that makes
sense.
perfect sense.
Yeah.
Which you get a lot of that from Hong Kong cinema, and like an amazing amount of it comes from Jackie Chan, and even like I said, he inspired by Buster Keaton. I feel like with this, they really are setting up that like, all right, we're just gonna preload this with a lot of fight scenes, because we see it's almost in montage that this is their
They're
day in,
setting
day
you
out.
up that like this is what we're doing. This is his job. He's going. He's sicking them on people. He's having them kick their ass. He's collecting his money. He's starting to build his reputation a little bit.
Yeah, and then we're brought to the scene where there's the caveat, and it's a good scene because they use it in the trailer. You can tell like it sets it up perfectly. He's like, now let me get this straight. You took a man and you turned him into a dog. He's at your every beck and whim.
Put him to bed! You turned a man into a dog. How did you do that?
Get him young, possibilities are endless.
To the death.
Betrayed by his master.
I don't want to hurt people anymore.
Kill him!
Reborn as a man.
You got family?
Don't know.
We got to think of you as our family.
Hunted by his past.
I'm back.
Jet Li. Morgan Freeman. Unleashed. Rated R. Starts May 13th everywhere.
And he's like, I don't pay you. You take the collar off. You take the collar off. He beats the shit out of us. And Bob Hoskins in the best Cockney, like really, literally, like everybody always thinks of Michael Caine. Bob Hoskins, hands down, best Cockney I've ever heard in my life. Because I can't understand what he's saying. Like not even.
I always forget that he's British until I see him British, because my first interaction with him was Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Mario.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just thought he was a New York guy.
He's just an insanely talented actor, and like short.
Yeah, very
this
good.
movie is
He's actually the best
representation,
part of the movie.
Absolutely,
top to bottom, between Bob Hoskins and Jet Li, who is not only the same height as me, but we share a birthday. So I was like,
you really are him.
I'm also 50 years old.
And you wear a collar around your neck, but that's for something else.
It's because I'm goth, but so the caveat being,
funny, in that
he's like, it's in my best interest to keep that collar on, and Bob Hoskins is like, so now you're getting the game, and he's like, no, how about we beat the shit out of you and your friends before you can even get the collar off, and we see that Danny sits back and just lets it all happen. He is so Pavlovian in his training that like he does not act unless it is insisted upon, and even though Bart is yelling for him to like get involved, do something, get them, it doesn't mean anything because without the trigger response, he's useless.
But I was thinking about it as I was watching this. I just remember thinking at one point, I went, if I'm being honest, this is way too much work.
It's you definitely movie logic.
To be the ultimate low-level gangster, all you need to do is kidnap a child from birth, train him, and then maybe you can almost succeed in getting your money every time. Like, great.
Yeah, and it's never much,
Yeah, it's like $300 like we did it.
Well, 300 pounds.
Oh, wait, that's is it less or more? What's the we gotta go back to the conversion calculator for 2005.
It's like $120,000.
Oh, jeez,
that's nothing.
Accounting for inflation, Unleashed made the most money of all time.
So, eventually they get the collar off of him. They get the upper hand because he still has other thugs, and I still like the action up until basically this point with the jewelry store, where this guy tries to go back about his business, and he's trying to finagle some rich people in his high-end jewelry store, and then Jet Li really lets loose in here and just starts beating the shit out of him. And there's this actor, I don't know, like I the way I wrote him down in my notes is the most evil looking Dark Souls voice actor. And he just observes this, and they make their getaway after collecting. Bart does is like, I'm not even a greedy man, and he just steals. I mean, he takes more than his fair share for being put through the trouble. And then we're treated to, like, this is when this movie kind of kicks into, like Robbie said, it's constantly almost being a good movie. But in the car ride, Bob Hoskins is talking about something, and you can't tell whether it's a story or it's the fact that he's describing a dream. And then even though it's a pleasant thing, I think he's, again, like, I had the most pleasant dream, and then I keep waking up in this life. And he's like, and that's why I hate dreams. It takes you away from what's real. And see, you're watching these moments, you're like, that is almost fucking good.
It's almost profound. Like.
So we're taken to Danny's home life with Bart, and they live, of course, like much like I said, bad guy hangouts. This is like bad guy headquarters or like home base.
Yes.
Yeah, and they quite literally keep him in a cage, and we see that anything that he enjoys, I almost wonder if this is like a something Jet Li came up with, but like everything he does, he has this teddy bear, but he keeps it on a high rack, so he does sit-ups, and every sit-up he accomplishes, he gets to like touch the teddy bear. He gets to feel something soft.
Right.
He has a punching bag full of sand, and he just rocks it, and
he gets legitimately sad when he breaks it.
Hard.
It's
because these
yeah.
are his friends. It's almost like a little like I Am Legend, where like you just become friends with the inanimate objects just because that's the only thing that shows you.
That's the only connection
kindness.
he has.
Yeah.
The only sense of humanity he has is when he's just interacting with these things, because otherwise he is just a ruthless killing machine.
Yeah, and we see what Bart does with the money that he collects. Is he's got a pawn shop for women of the night, and he brings in. He brings in a prostitute, and is like, in the grossest way, like kudos to all these actresses who play the prostitutes in this movie. Like
that scene when he bends her over.
Oh my god. So,
oh my god, I had to look away. I straight up.
I wrote that in my notes. This movie is capital V vulgar.
It's gross, man. Nothing is grosser than a Bob Hoskins potential sex scene. It's not even the sex scene. It's like it's getting close, and I'm like, I need to turn away.
You can't show it too much because what else is the audience going to want? Like, I want that, and I can't have it. And it's like, I got popcorn and a beer? This sucks, you know?
But you know what? You don't have to worry, because Jet Li is Bob Hoskins' personal cock blocker. He will never get laid as long as Jet Li's around.
Yeah. In a voyeuristic, almost kid walking in on mom and dad is like, because they keep him under the ground where he's looking up at the grate, because the prostitute decided it's too unromantic to fuck me over the trunk of your car. They go to his office, where Jet Li is like watching them. Office. Quite obviously, yeah.
Well, because he is, I mean, he's watching him obviously because he is a dog man, so he's, you know, it's like what's my dad up there doing?
Yeah, it's like if you leave the door open to your bedroom and the dog's sitting outside, you're like, I can't do this. This is not, I can't have them watch.
Yeah, you can't have your dog look at you while you're doing that. It's just, it's uncouth, you know?
I don't know. I've dated lots of girls who don't seem to mind, but... But if I'm there, I'm not going to make the joke.
There is something in this movie, though, that I keep noticing, and I feel like they really have to re-explain the plot every few minutes. It's like they don't trust the audience to understand what the plot of the movie is,
not for a moment.
Even though it's the most obvious plot of all time. Yeah. So, yeah, man, I get it. You set it up. Let's go.
So then, now that we have everything established, they, because of his fuck up at the jewelry store, they take him to, and they're about to do it, but they don't want to bring Danny in there with him. They're like, we need to have you as almost like we can't like parade you around because then people will know that's our weakness. So they leave him behind, and they give him the most confusing orders of all time. They have a nice little remote controlled box with a red light on it, and he keeps telling him red means go. And I remember writing that down and being like as if they're not already like they've clearly kept him in an almost like invalidic state. And the fact that like they're telling him like we're gonna put this here. The second you see a red light, you have to come in and save our asses. You know, if shit goes tits up.
Yeah, and he can't pay attention to that
because we're introduced to Morgan Freeman, a blind piano repairman.
This is one of the first tropes where they throw in the magical blind man.
Yes, but
not just the magical blind man, but the magical blind black man.
Yes, very specific.
Like they really hit all the notes on that.
Thank you, Luc Besson. So
we're not at the Luc Besson yet.
Danny sees a piano and he's instantly enthralled by it. The concept of it. At this point, we don't know if he's ever seen one, and he's
even heard music.
Yeah, he's fixated on it. And Morgan Freeman's character Sam is a repairman, and he's quite like he knows that someone's there, even though he's blind. He knows that someone's there and that he's shy, and he's like he just does the most like he actually starts treating him like the father he's always been missing, and immediately teaches him how to tune a piano, or the fact that like you push these keys, it makes a sound, and Danny is enthralled by this concept immediately. Now once they get the piano tuned, they start playing. He starts calling him Mr. No Name because Danny almost like
because he's not talking,
borderline can't speak. Yeah. And realizes that he's completely blown the red light, like comedy club, it's fucked, So.
Yeah, because what Morgan Freeman, he's like,
what's that sound?
Have you heard that noise? There's a weird noise going on.
Which I don't even think they had ever said there was a noise associated with it. But yeah, whatever.
Well, I think
he has the wonderful line. He has the wonderful
Freeman...
line that I'm sorry to interrupt, but a piano's like a person. If you beat on it hard enough, it gets out of tune.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't think being facile means bad writing ever. I think sometimes it's like just be.
Sometimes
succinct.
to be obvious is like sometimes that's a skill to have.
Correct. How do you get to Carnegie Hall?
There you go.
Is that so? So when he sees the light and then he runs up, right? Because he starts just beating the shit out of the guys, right? Or do they just run off?
I mean, they get the upper hand enough. Like the thugs, everyone takes a beating in this situation.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're able to get the collar off of him, let him do his thing. But they're extra fucking pissed because it's the you have one job. And I'm like, yeah, but you trained him in such a shitty, terrible way that it's very hard to get that job off.
Was this the fight scene when he beat the guy's head with bricks?
Shit. See, that's you kind of like lose track of him at a certain point because the movie just stops having action too.
I don't think this is the one where he hits the bricks. I don't believe so. I think that's later.
Okay.
I might be wrong.
I think that's closer to the end. Because they're in a warehouse and there's like pillows and shit like that, and they're all like in the junk of the warehouse where they house all these pianos. Yeah.
I'll just what I remember. Again, this is where I say the fight scenes were kind of the weakest parts of the movie in a sense, just because there's no through line to a lot of these fight scenes. It is just you unleash him and then he goes crazy, and that's fine the first time when you're setting up that character, but then each one after, it's just like there's no guy. It doesn't follow the action movie, story where it's like, oh hey, maybe there's that guy who can be a threat to Danny.
Yes.
It's just, Danny can just come in and just kill everyone.
He hasn't met his match yet in this movie.
It's 100% squash matches the whole time, and then eventually
it is 100% squash matches. Yes, it's just him and a bunch of jobbers. In wrestling, a squash match is when you're trying to put over your top star, or just a guy you're trying to build up as like a big name. So you just send him out there against a guy who's just a nobody, a jobber.
Okay.
And his job is to make the babyface or the heel, whatever, just look good.
Yep.
So that means he's going to go out there, he's going to get beat up.
Are they hiring?
No offense
I can do this
and
job
take the
so
pin.
fucking easy.
You just get paid to get your ass beat.
Yeah. I do it already.
So what we're gonna have to do is put a collar on you, and when we take the collar off, you go get your ass beat. It's like an inverse Unleashed.
I want a piano. So evil Dark Souls voice actor guy, which I've been like, it was bothering me. I still need to look up this actor's name. I've been rewatching Andor with a friend. He does show up in that, so I'm like,
he is in that.
Like,
yes.
Yeah, it's. You know what? Kind of got to hand it to England. Like, they just have an entire class of people who are all like Shakespeare stage guys who just get so good at their shit that they are like reliable. Like, you pay an actor, you get an actor. And this guy his face alone, like, he's almost kind of like a white Danny Trejo, where you're like, that's the most evil looking person I've ever seen.
Yeah, he looks like he was born to be a thug.
Yeah. He pitches the idea to Bart, now that he's like, taking his losses, but also very impressed by Danny's, let's just say audition at the jewelry shop. Tells him that there is a like underground fight club, and to even get in, to even be like a contender in, you have to like win your first fight. And Bart is they take Danny to this after the whole piano thing, and they put him up against S&M goth,
S&M BDSM guy.
Yes. Yeah.
Which that seems like a very Luc Besson thing.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's a Luc Besson boss villain.
Yeah. This guy's. I mean, like, just like, I thought as a kid shit like this existed. Like, there are just people
me
who
too.
live in like these like S&M world, but they also engage in blood sport and ludicrous drug transactions. I don't know. So
they're just deranged
Jet Li
people.
is 5'6", on a good day, and is pit up against like this big hulking, might as well have been a wrestler of a man, but like big fat strong guy, wearing a gimp mask and a some kind of everything spikes all over him, and
yeah.
I mean, the most efficient action scene I've ever seen. They pit them up against each other, and Jet Li just like immediately eviscerates him with just like 10 quick punches to the throat and kills him immediately.
Just kills him right away.
Yeah. So now they've got their in. Yeah, now they've got their in. You can now join this underground fighting league, and then Bart smells the money in this opportunity, and that fact like Danny's useless in situations where you need to call him for backup, but if you put him out front, maybe I can make some money off this kid. Just throw him into
putting
the
him
fucking
into
pit.
these fights, yeah. And then right before he goes, he's like, "Hey, remember, just make the next one kind of more entertaining. Like,
Yeah, you got to sell it.
we want the
much
fight to last a little bit longer
because everything at the end of the day is wrestling. So
Exactly.
It's 1,000,000%.
That's the alternate name for this podcast. Everything is wrestling, even these movies.
even this movie, yes. Underworld is going to be a fun one.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, Bart is now so impressed with Danny that he's willing to be like oh, we're gonna make so much money. This is gonna be our new thing that we do. And he's like, I'm going to take you out for a nice steak dinner. Like, what do you want? What is something you want? And this is where we get that line that Danny keeps repeating. I want a piano. And
then Bart, he keeps just going, oh, well, don't you want a woman? You never had a woman before.
He's all about this immediate like gratification and consumption.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand like and Danny's like his first humanizing moments is he wants to be human. He wants to create something rather than destroy something. He wants a piano based on his experience with Sam.
Also kind of interesting too because it shows that Bob Hoskins' character kind of sees how he views even women in everything around him is just something for cheap fulfillment or to get him what he wants. Yeah.
Everything from his white suits that get fucked up constantly, but he has to be the guy wearing the white suit.
Yeah.
It's so gross, man. His suits are essentially gray by the end of any moment that he has in that movie.
Yes.
Gray and like kind of brown from dried blood.
Oh,
it's
disgusting.
He looks repulsive in the movie, actually.
He's so good.
But that's what's the best part about Bob Hoskins, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Bob Hoskins is not afraid to make himself look like a horrible creep, and I respect that so much in an actor.
So, while they're talking about how good things are going to be, bam, smack, right into a horrific car accident where they get rammed by an actual Mack truck. And we see that the jewelry store owner is out for his fucking revenge. He and his goons unload entire clips of fully automatic weapons into this car. And Danny, because he's on the left side of the car, he's protected from all the bodies and whatever's in the car. And he makes his escape. He sneaks away and returns to the only person who's ever been nice to him, Morgan Freeman's Sam. And he collapses in a pool of his own blood, which I think this movie has moments where when it's not trying to like hyper actively ADD move the camera, there are a lot of shots where I'm like, that is a wonderful transition, and it's Jet Li collapsing in a pool of his own blood to be rescued by Sam.
I think this is kind of where the movie, like, I think this next stretch of the film is the best part of the movie.
I agree, yeah.
And it's like more than half the movie too.
It takes a minute. It takes a minute to
it actually lets you like kind of sit in the world a little bit, and you go, oh, all right. There's actually a real movie here.
This is where it gets, I feel, the Luc Bessoniest of the movie.
It absolutely is where we get the most Luc Besson, but it still feels like.
Well, I go back to the Leon the Professional constantly, where it's like, that movie's the gold in that movie is the relationship between two people from completely different walks of life being thrust together. So we have Jet Li waking up in what I wrote down, like, I need these pajamas, like the most comfy looking pair of pajamas, sleeping in a bed, completely caught off guard. And he's still in like, street dog mode where he hides under the bed. He's like he's not convinced.
He's like whimpering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's unaware that people have this concept of compassion and they would show it.
He thinks he's captured instead of being kind. That people are being kind to him.
Thank you. God, yes, I love you, Hunter.
Oh, well, I mean, that's unrelated to everything. I love you too. Like, sidebar.
Let's tell Robbie.
Right,
let's do it at the same time. Let's tell Robbie
here.
so he doesn't feel bad. 1, 2, 3. I love you, Robbie.
I love you, Robbie.
Oh, thank you. Oh my God, thank you. Okay, continue.
No, this is what the show's about now.
I like it.
So he wakes up in a house. He's being took care of. He's been out for a few days, and we were introduced to. This is the first time I've ever seen Carrie Condon. And shit, what is her character's name? I think I heard.
It starts with a V. Victoria, Veronica.
Victoria.
Yeah, it's Victoria. So we're introduced to Victoria, who is, I mean, shit. There's so much about this movie that is peak what we're going for on this show. Between like the blue and gray filters, the erratic editing and camera styles, but like we are introduced to the manicest of trauma dump pixie girls.
Me and Robbie talked about this before. I wanted to save it. This is the Luc Besson character. This is, if you've ever seen a movie of his, that's
an
like,
underage girl. Yeah,
it's okay. No, that's what I'm going to say. This is
you think
she's
an underage girl.
So it's like a girl that's been put in front of you who's obviously coded to be a child because she's got braces on. She's talking with a lisp. She's a kid, and
her hair's all fucked up. It's constantly in pins.
And then the director it has made her say, "But I'm actually 18," and then she acts like the mother and the sister and the girlfriend at the same time. It's the most
she's the
Luc
girlfriend,
Besson
the mother,
character.
the daughter, the sister.
It is like the all-in-one
She's literally every
woman.
female character into one.
But
she
is
anything,
technically legal, so that's Luc Besson.
Also, like whether it's they want to chalk it up to the fact that Jet Li's character has kind of just been treated like shit his whole life. Like he's never applied lotion, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like maybe like you really just don't know what age he is. Like he could be 25, but I mean at the time I believe Jet Li was 48, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, so like it was 48 with an 18-year-old girl. I'm like, and written by Luc Besson, just keeps showing up in the movie. It's a weird way to do the credits.
Easy.
Somewhere in this section is when I just wrote the note, laugh at the found orphan man, because I just remember he was doing like they have him doing like random learning how to live life, and they were just like laughing at him. Like it wasn't like super mean. It was just. It stood out to me.
Well, this is silly.
It stood out to me though. It was very like he's traumatized. Like they are showing him in PTSD mode and like learning how to do this stuff, and they're just like, ha, 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 he can't do that. Come on, guys.
I think it's when she gets him the ice cream for the first time.
Yes, that's one of them. That's definitely one of them.
And he bites the whole.
So just for context for anybody who might have like not wanted to watch this movie before or haven't seen it, like they take him in and they literally do as I wrote down in my notes, like I think My Fair Lady is the best movie ever made.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
just keep remaking it, and this is absolutely My Fair Lady for stupid 16-year-old boys.
My Fair Lady for dog men, for dog human man,
aka 16-year-old boys. Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, he starts getting to see that like normal people lead normal lives that aren't full of fucking pain and misery.
And it's funny talking about Victoria a little bit too, because I think I wrote down world's oldest 18-year-old, because it's just
she can't help it that she's Irish, okay?
But it is just funny watching her in the movie, because this movie is such a like example of the Madonna horror complex kind of thing. In that women in this movie don't exist unless they are a prostitute for Bob Hoskins or Victoria, and she is every piece of innocence put into one character.
There's a great scene where he picks her up from school and she gives him a kiss on the cheek, and he's never been shown, and as far as he's concerned, he's never been shown any affection in his entire life. And Sam asks about it because he's telling her, he's like, yo, she's a very like affectionate person, and I feel like they're almost like there's another cut of this movie where it gets a little weirder, but they lead in with this like she might be a potential romantic interest for him. But they kind of hold back, and they're like, no, people are just affectionate towards each other. And he asks him, describes like she put her mouth on my face, and he's like, oh, how it's called a kiss. How was it? And he's like, it was wet.
Oh man, there is an alternate cut of this movie.
Little slight, always kind of towing, if not going over the line.
Oh, the second cut of this movie is solely in Luc Besson's head, and it's running all the time, 24/7.
He's like, oh, I wonder how I can get hurt.
It really does suck that perverts make the best movies, but
it's
I mean,
the worst.
to be a great filmmaker, you have to be at least a little bit of a pervert.
Yeah, check out Fablemans by Steven Spielberg.
Oh yeah. Well, to be fair, I also want to fuck Steven Spielberg's mom, but that's
we all do. We all just don't make movies about it.
I mean, even we're not to derail too much, but talking about perverts in movies, but we can talk about a true auteur, Hideo Kojima.
Yeah.
He figured it out too.
Yep.
He's someone said he's the last of the noble perverts. And I was like, that's like
because no one ever gives him any accusations or anything. He's just like really likes hot people.
He definitely got dragged, I think, between like Metal Gear Solid 2 through 5 on like the fact that like the actress who plays Stephanie Houston, who plays Quiet, is like she's
quiet
in a bikini the whole time, or even going back to the fact that like there are pinups of underwear models in Metal Gear Solid, and if you lean in too close to them, it'll make a smoochy sound, or
makes a
like
squish noise.
Yeah, I think there's something about like being a little like I think there's like a playfulness in the affection, whereas it's like not.
Yes,
it's not. I don't think there's exploitation.
No,
I don't think so either.
Objectification is still there, but I don't think it's exploitation, and I think that's the difference.
All art is objectification.
Correct.
You can't ever leave that, so it's all objectification. But Yeah, you're right. Kojima has more of a playfulness, but I think Luc Besson, there is a bit of like lecherousness to
Luc
it.
Besson, it feels like he's off to the
you're
side.
coasting by on the like, oh, but I am French, you know.
Yeah, 100. That dude, yes, he's like, if you watch a Luc Besson like this, we're calling this a Luc Besson movie, obviously at this point, but it feels like he's just off camera.
Like, if you made a good movie, I would have said something.
100. It feels like he's just like off camera and he's like rubbing his hands together all the time. I'm like, stop doing that, man. Just stop looking over here, dude.
Like, there's an entire set of people. Like, why do you need an audience?
I know.
Well, especially because I think this whole stretch of the film where he is learning to be part of the family, I think is actually generally pretty nice.
It's wholesome, as wholesome as it can get.
Kind of. Yeah, I think this is where Jet Li kind of starts almost becoming a good actor, where
his acting
he is
gets
very
insanely
likable
better
in the movie.
It makes me think that they actually shot this movie sequentially, because like a lot of directors will do that. I know Nicholas Winding Refn does that. He has to shoot his movies sequentially. I don't know if it's some weird like neuroses thing, but it does start to feel like from before. Either, I mean, whether they portray that he's barely verbal at all. But the grocery store is where I start picking it up, because I'm like, this is a shared experience where I'm like, I think a lot of people in the audience have had this. So like my dad's Middle Eastern. I've had a lot of like Persian, like parental figures in my life, and I think taking him grocery shopping, taking him produce shopping, teaching him how to flick, like the fact that like there's music in everything. Like, you know, you flick the melons and you can hear it. Right. And they go back to this. So just to get two scenes out of the way, he's learning that there's like so much more to enjoy in life rather than like eating dog chow out of a can and beating people up and being abused. There's simple pleasures.
I guess to each their own.
In the banal, you know, the you go to the grocery store, like there's like you learn. He's learning to appreciate everything. I think is a truly human skill. And then when we come back to it, we see later, you know, he starts getting introduced to the community, and Sam has taken him under his wing and is like this is, for all intents and purposes, you know, my found family son. And there's a not even connected to him like a violent attack inside the grocery store later, and the fact that he's like, yeah, he's not by nature a violent person, a violent thing. He's oblivious to the fact that there's people fighting. Like, he's desensitized to it, to be certain, but what's more important to him is like he's now putting the art of appreciating things over what he was told his prime function and purpose is, which is to enact violence on the world around him because they owe his uncle money.
Well, when you put it like that,
you make it sound bad.
Yeah.
Oh no, not when I do it. When I do it, it's very fucking.
When we train Robbie, that's actually fine and normal.
Because I was right, officer.
Yeah, when you guys train me and I'm looking mean, and you let me off my leash, I'm going crazy. You know I am.
Oh yeah.
At least we're in America, so I always tap you on the chest and go, sick 'em.
Yeah, hell yeah. Now we're talking.
We've been talking. That's the whole podcast.
Could have fooled me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to send Hunter notes. You're going to have to edit all this.
I'm gonna edit in. I'll edit in a rim shot there. Don't worry.
It's all staying in.
Great.
You keep it in.
Keep it in.
So he gets a taste of domesticity. Everything from like, man, did I want potato leek soup so hard while watching that movie?
When they just are slurping it up.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
Yeah, no, they made it look so good, even though it's British cuisine, and you know it's the worst garbage in the world because the British don't know how to make food.
They had to bring in two of the most empathetic people in the world, so they had to bring in two Americans. One, great American actor Morgan Freeman, and two, fantastic actress Carrie Condon, putting on the most convincing American accent I've seen in a long time.
Absolutely.
We have a lisp in the movie. It's not too hard, it seems like, I guess.
But again, it's like it really is funny that is the most. I think the best acting they did in the whole movie was making that food look good. Because,
bro,
I've long had a theory.
Get some potato leek soup.
I've had a long-standing theory that England was supposed to be a theme park that people just started moving to. Like, I think
is my ultimate question. Why?
Because it was supposed to be a parody of the rest of Europe. And you think about it, it's like you got the big Ferris
It's Europe
wheel
without
in
the
England.
foreigners until now.
Exactly. But then everyone just starts moving in because they're just like, I don't know, I like brown food and warm beer, I guess. That's fun. Yeah. That's novelty.
I just don't like the way they spell kebab because I'm like, that's not
like
kebab.
Oh
guys,
yeah.
hang on. Let's get on a fucking let's hate England fucking.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Like, how do y'all invent the language and fuck it up every step of the way? Like putting in U's and color, and fucking kebab,
U's and umlauts, and like, what are we doing,
and also,
guys?
You know, for a country that hates the French as much as they do, love using like, well, they've got a certain je ne sais quoi. Like they love using French nomenclature, you know, and be like, don't you hate those guys? Like it's a very confusing place, and the only benefit that this movie gets from it is that everybody's got fucked up teeth, and I respect that.
That is true. You don't see fucked up teeth like this in movies anymore, and it's really nice to see.
Not a single set of veneers in the entire runtime.
The only person who doesn't is the person who's wearing braces. I guess that makes it the American wearing braces.
She's getting her smart because she's American. Yep. No, yeah. So it's not just that Danny, I can always pull this back on track. It's not just that Danny is growing, you know, between the fact that he gets to wear people clothes, he won't take the collar off, but everyone else is starting to grow around him as well. Victoria gets her braces off. It shows that she's grown. She's no longer an unconvincing 18-year-old. She's now a convincing 18-year-old.
She's no longer 17 and a half. She's now 18 and a half. It's great.
Yeah. Look, she was 17 years, 364 days old, you sick fuck.
And Luc Besson was rubbing his hands the whole time.
I think he was rubbing something more, but...
Whoa! Hey, now.
Yeah, sorry. No disrespect. Everybody brings their A game, and I think everybody treats this material with a whole sincerity, and that's where we get like this whole My Fair Lady thing. Like, we'll get into it. Eventually, we get to the point where Victoria consoles Danny and convinces him that he doesn't need the collar anymore, and she takes it off, and he doesn't freak out. There is nothing for him to attack. The people who've been the most sensitive to him are the only ones who are around him. He has no reason to be enslaved to this Pavlovian trigger response, and at this point he is full blown like a member of the family. He's leaving his own bullshit and baggage behind, which by an actual physical item that he leaves behind.
I was just saying he's still having the dream sequences and stuff in here, but this is where that really starts cranking up, that theme going through it. Is this when we get to the scene?
Because this is where he starts learning about his mom.
Yes, this is where the mom stuff starts. Is this where we get the scene where they're about to move? I'd like to ask that.
They're about to move, or they're about to start like just investigating, like now that he's fully in there.
Okay, I just couldn't remember where the scene was where Morgan Freeman comes and was like, "Hey, we're not going to be at this school forever," and
yes, and he invites them to truly be a member of the family.
That scene actually got me. That scene legitimately got me because you start that scene and it's like we're moving, we don't know how it's going to make it work, and I'm like, oh, they're about to tell him that they're going to have to leave him behind, and then they ask him to come with him, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, it's actually very sweet, and I think Jet Li actually plays it very well, and he has this very like innocent excitement to him.
Kudos to him too. Like, it's so good to see him play someone so human, you know, where he's usually like, I have to be so tough that I'm a machine. He's playing something. He's like going through all the motions of adolescence, even at his age in this movie, where he goes from being like dog to little boy to man.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. And again, I genuinely think that this stuff is the best stuff of the movie. I think this is where you're like, you actually could have probably made an entire movie like this, and it would have been, I think, a good movie where it's, as it stands, as we've established, is an almost good movie.
Yes,
correct. So they start investigating because of his dreams and his flashbacks of him sitting in a closet and watching his mother be killed, and I think it's a great visual because it is like one of those things where, from a child's perspective, we see what is either Bart or Bart's former boss having an affair with her, and you know, like he's licking her neck, and a like dog's tongue comes out.
Yeah, that's so gross,
horrifying looking.
They've spent his whole life convincing him he's an animal, but he's been in the company of animals this whole time, you know. And we see that she gets killed for what seemingly like for rejecting, you know, Bart.
Also,
or whoever.
that headshot looked brutal.
It was crazy.
Like, I didn't expect when they shot her head and shit, man.
Yeah, like that was crazy. I was like, I wasn't expecting that at all, and I was like, oh no, that actually, I mean, yeah, that makes sense that it fucked him up as a kid.
So they're piecing together. They're investigating where she came from. They come to the conclusion that she's was actually a piano prodigy, and that then explains his attraction to the piano. And he's been giving a little electric keyboard, and also Victoria's giving him lessons. I'm like, that's why he has this like deep-seated thing he can't forget about pianos, and it was the fact that his mother used to play, and then his mother was a prodigy, but as a Chinese immigrant to England, like there's no money in being a student, so she started hooking to take care of her son, take care of her tuition, take care of all of that, and then just got involved with the wrong people who now have become Danny's.
Again, a true British story, if there ever was one.
This is where so we have the trope of the magical black blind guy, and they met the other trope. It was like two tropes meeting. It was the librarian that has every record of every human ever in existence and knows like I remember that one person. They really stuck out in my mind, the Law and Order witness who remembers the whole crime. It's like, I think I saw that guy down at the docks. Just pulls out like a 2-page document.
7:17 every day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and she was brilliant, and she played Mozart.
Yeah, it's been like 20 years. She was the best piano player I've ever seen. Also, she had a child, and I'm just like...
I heard he got turned into a dog man, but I don't know.
I don't know. Who can keep track of these things these days? So amidst his new My Fair Lady life, one of the goons from the car accident. Turns out nobody in this fucking movie will die.
Truly,
no kidding.
Yeah, the guy from the fight scene earlier, the gimp suit, is actually still alive. We just never see him again.
Yeah, it's just like he went to go to a farm to hang out with his other dogs who are people.
Yeah, you go to Bad Guy Farm.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Bad Guy Farm? That's
our new movie.
Yeah. So, Danny's still alive, and he's gonna report his ass to the boss, to the fucking chief, to the union head right now. So,
come on.
Yeah, what a fucking ball breaker, man. So it turns out Bart is not dead, and they threaten Danny, and they're gonna hurt Sam and Victoria unless he comes with them. And Bart is thrilled. He's got his boxer back, and he's in this fantastic arm brace. Where he got absolutely fucked up in that shootout without dying. Must have had a lead-lined car.
Somehow is not riddled with bullets right now.
Yeah.
And
I like that he progressively gets fucked up as the movie goes on.
He just hurt his arm.
Yeah, no, I appreciated that too, actually.
I am gonna I'm gonna go deep real quick. This is gonna be one of those like, oh wow, this guy's really an auteur. So Bob Hoskins also has his own collar at this point. They threw a collar around his neck that's like helping.
Fuck you.
So yeah, that's right.
Dude,
it's like
right.
It's like
you're
he's
right.
it's like he's the dog, guys.
Damn,
he's the real animal.
I think he's the animal here. And now,
so to not be undone, they give Danny a new collar, which is like hot.
To erase everything I just said, they did give him a cool collar. Like, actually, no, he's the dog.
Stars on it, like.
Yeah, dude, it actually kind of rocks. They went to Claire's and got
every girl I dated when I was 22 tattoo core. Fucking
very famous stars and straps, you know. So it's like I appreciate it fully. Actually, no, I wouldn't even say it was a clothing brand. I think Blink-182 or Travis Barker from Blink-182 started it.
See, it all adds up.
But I'm going to change it. It wasn't famous stars and straps. That was like Roxy. The stars and the jewels, that was very Roxy. It was like 2002 beach girl aesthetic, you know?
Roxy is Quicksilver for girls, right?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, cool. Because it made a heart out of the Quicksilver logo, and I was like, does anybody else see this shit? Does anybody else acknowledge it? And nobody would confirm for me the entirety of that decade. It'd be like, but that's just Quicksilver for girls. And they're like, no, it's Roxy. And I'm like, okay, but do you see how the logo? And they like, either I got gaslit to the fullest extent of the law.
Well, it was a bunch of girls gaslighting you, I'm pretty sure.
It's called girl lighting. It's different, actually.
It's
actually very feminist.
It's very legal. You can't even prosecute that. So
wow, that's cool.
So Danny gets drawn back into the world of underground boxing because under threat of getting Sam and Victoria hurt, Bart has pulled him back in, but he's realizing that Danny is not the same person anymore. In fact, he's grown. It's only a few months. It's all it took for him to become fully realized,
a real boy.
But he's agreeing to go to this boxing match. But now these matches are to the death, and Danny is saying he is not gonna he's not going to kill anybody anymore. He's like I'll fight for you, but I'm not killing anyone anymore. Getting his ass kicked into a pit of what I wrote down as gay goth operator corps.
It was weird.
Yeah, that's about right.
It was like they were a band or something that jumped in after
Everyone's
them.
got the bulletproof vest and eyeliner on, and they are not fucking having this shit. And this is actually, I think, where the action returns one last time.
I agree.
I fuck with this.
This fight scene was actually really cool.
I enjoyed it.
Because, you know what? Because there's an actual story to it, because the whole thing is him not wanting to cause harm to the people.
Yeah.
So he's just trying to deflect everything and trying to dodge and jump away and stuff like that. So there is like an actual story to the fight scene.
And the crowd doesn't like it.
The crowd hates it.
Like it at all.
And you get a little mini. You mentioned that he had choreographed the 88. Crazy 88s? Yeah, fight scene. And you get the hatchet thing. They throw an axe down to him, and you get a little mini version of the hatchet fighting parts of it. It's really fun.
Yeah. So like now they turn it straight up in the Quake 3 arena, and just throw in a whole bevy of weapons and other fighters, and like this is where like Jet Li just takes a fucking beating. Like he is up against the ropes, or you could say up against the barbed wire even.
My note here is when they just start kicking him, it's the funniest thing in the world. When he's just laying on the ground curled up, there's like 6 people just kicking him really fast and just knocking him around.
AKA how an actual fight against 4 people would go.
It's so funny.
Well, I think this movie kind of tries to save itself from that reputation of a lot of action movies where they're like, yeah, everybody fight him one at a time, where it's like, no, they're all kind of fighting him all at the same time, and he gets his way out of it, he fucks everybody up, and then it comes down to he has Scott Adkins, who is in this movie. Do you guys know who that is?
Yeah.
I don't offhand, no.
Okay. Apparently he is an action star, stuntman action star extreme. I have never heard of him until I saw John Wick 4, and then didn't realize that, like, that was a big deal that was his cameo. Apparently he's been like an action guy doing, I'm sure, like Bavarian movies for fucking $3 million. Some of them have Steven Seagal. Like, I have no idea who Scott Adkins is, but apparently he's a big deal and a very formidable martial artist stuntman.
Sure.
Yeah, and this is, I think, one of his first big, like, he's top credited as
roles.
like as one of the fighters in this. But yeah, so that is him. I think he's the one with like the vest on and he's got the spiky hair.
Right.
Good looking ripped guy.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, no match.
Absolutely.
No match for our short kings.
Is this where he does the backflip, the backflip double drop kick to the knees or whatever?
Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
That was so sick.
God, sometimes
that was
I
like
love movies.
the sickest shit I've ever seen. I was like, whoa, you know what? This whole movie is worth it for that alone.
So, and then he performs his final, like I'm not your dog anymore. Well, that's not the final one. He's like, I'm not your dog anymore. He's like, I'll fight these people, but I'm not going to kill them. And then that lands them in a whole shitload of trouble.
Yeah, because Bob Hoskins then has to shoot them, which is very funny too.
Oh my god,
that is very funny.
He just pulls out his gun. He's like, fine, you wanted dead people? Here you go. He fucking beat them. Now they're dead. Now fucking pay me. Fuck, god damn.
They're dead. It's what you wanted.
So fun to play an absolute irredeemable shitheel in a movie. Like I dream about it. I think about it constantly.
You're born for it too.
Oh yeah.
So, do you want to move into the story? Let's just say so. Danny makes his escape, comes back to Sam and Victoria, and there's no time. Like now Bart is on the hunt, and he brings an entire crew of guys. Like, he wants his property back. A lot of people love their pets, but they do think of them as straight up property. He wants his property back, and he just starts sending in the heavy guns.
And we get
the goons.
We get our first view of an actual boss character, because we've only been dealing with goons for 99% of the movie. We get one final boss,
credited as the Stranger, who is, weirdly enough, where the fuck did he get this guy? And then why is Danny so important to him? Because he's
if you got this guy here,
he's everything Danny is, except he's the more refined, controlled version of it. And he's okay. By the way, bald white guy in full Chinese like gi, like.
Yeah, that's perfect Luc Besson. I feel like that was there's another Luc Besson character right there, baby.
Yeah, exactly. you got to sit back and let a white guy speak a little Chinese. You know what I mean?
White guy speaking Chinese never hurt nobody.
That's the
Absolutely
body
not.
you get after an entire Szechuan diet. As I'm just saying,
Ooh.
top to bottom, only the spices, only the proteins, only the finest of vegetables.
Ooh, baby.
That's bok choy, baby.
But I mean, here I will defend it in this, saying that he's who Bob Hoskins' character you would want, but I don't think he would be able to have absolute control over him like he does Danny, because that's the whole character of the movie, is that he doesn't see people as people, he sees them as objects.
Yes.
So he couldn't have that refined guy there, because it's like, well, no, he's his own guy. He figured it out himself,
Yeah.
He's just an asshole.
He's a little more, this more self-realized version of if Danny stayed a dog. And then so this is where like the fight choreography and stuff like loses a lot of its.
Definitely.
Yes.
I thought they said it in England because there couldn't be any guns, but now we start bringing out guns, so it starts becoming a little bit more like an acrobatics showcase. He's mowing through people, he's climbing through the ducts. I almost feel like you can kind of skip through a lot of that. Like they're like, all right, we made you feel emotions and feelings for too long. Now we're gonna give you just the.
I started zoning out during a bit of it.
On top of the hot dog.
There's some spots I liked, but there's a lot of it that was just like the stuff that was when they brought them into tighter spots where they're like in the hallway and smashing their those spots were gold. I love those parts of the fight, and as soon as it spread out and it became more gun based, I was zoning out. I'm like, we're done.
I did
run
perk
faster
up when they went. Yeah, I did perk up when they went through the family's
that one, yeah,
and they would go through the shower, and I'm like, here we go, and a naked lady comes out, and I wrote down true pervert shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's it might take place in England. It might have a Chinese actor and choreography team. It might have American actors. This is still French.
It's French, baby.
We gotta get a naked lady in the shower out here.
And again, for 16 to 18-year-old boys out there, standing ovation. Just
thank you.
You paid for the ticket. You get the ride you deserve.
Finally, someone was brave enough to do it.
So I almost feel like I don't think there's anything that stands out too much aside from the stranger fight. Where
no, I get into the fighting in the art studio.
Have you guys seen Jackie Chan? Who Am I?
Yes. Who Am I?
That's
one great.
Where like here's just a guy who's fucking huge and also knows kung fu. How fucked would you be?
Yeah, because this is where we get into the fight in the art studio, right? And that's where I think I wrote down symbolism because of all the art pieces and everything.
Correct.
And also, I think I wrote exactly after I wrote, there's 20 minutes left?
Oh, yeah. So, by the way, writing down the word symbolism is the funniest way, because that is what the symbolism is. It's just a guy saying, symbolism? Right off the side of the screen. You get it?
The sacred
We're
and the profane.
Art. That was Luc Besson saying it on the side.
Absolutely.
So,
no, again,
Luc Besson was sitting in the symbolism chair.
Yeah. He puts Sam and Victoria in the closet and lets him do his thing. He can't really offer them anything in terms of being a normal human, but he can offer them the violence to save them that is necessary to save them. And we get to I love when the climax is also the eye of the duck, which I've brought up before on this podcast, where I'm like, it's the scene that sums everything up, is that Bart is now ridiculing him, going like, you traded all the money we're about to make for this life, the most banal, boring, like domestic apartment life, with like there's not even like a TV in the room or nothing like that. There's no instant gratification anywhere. Everything is just appreciation.
Yeah, you have to appreciate things.
He is talking him into being like after everything I've done for you, and it is a. I don't know if anyone's ever had a toxic parent or has like observed this, but it's like the most toxic parent gaslighting ever is like I gave you everything, even if it wasn't in existence worth having. It's this, I gave you everything, and this is how you repay me. Come back to me. We're gonna pretend like I love you so much that I'm going to pretend that all of this didn't happen, or you didn't.
I'll let it go.
Yep.
I brought you into this world.
Correct.
Hey, I'm willing to let everything go if you just come with me.
And he even tries to tell him oh yes, I knew your mother. I'm sorry I didn't tell you, but it's like I thought it would be too heartbreaking for this, just top to bottom, like the most repulsive shit in the world. And the best shot in the entire movie, hands down, like the best shot, like wordless, tells you everything that needs to be seen. You think he's got Danny that's the only way to save these people. It meets both motivations, that he wants to protect Sam and Victoria, but also go back to the only life you've ever known. And Bart attempts to throw the collar back on him, and it's the classic collar too. It's not the new,
not the cool.
Yeah, it's not the new fancy,
not the Roxy collar.
And I think physical acting is just as important as how well you say the words. Like just the subtle,
absolutely,
like puts his hand up where the collar would latch and stops it, and is like I'm done. You know, he's like I'm not your dog.
I am not your
anymore.
dog. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just unleashes on Bart, just gives him the most heinous beating.
I also wrote here, kicks Hoskins' ass into art, and then I wrote again symbolism, and I put 2 exclamation points.
And that's what Luc Besson did in the
why
symbolism.
Are there 4 question marks?
He was sitting in the symbolism chair off to the side and said symbolism. This I will say there's something confusing about this scene, because this is essentially like we're at the end of the movie here.
Yeah.
Bob Hoskins during this fight while he's getting his ass beat suddenly becomes the Joker and starts acting like his whole goal was for Jet Li to like kill him, like Emperor Palpatine style, and like, yeah, kill me, kill me, Danny, take your rightful place, you'll replace Bart, like kill me, become your evil side.
If I can dissect that a little bit, I think what it is it's him realizing he's lost control of a person, and so now he's trying to do anything he can to gain control back. So,
if he can
like
make
Sauce is bringing up the toxic parent thing.
Yes.
Now he can, like, this is my way. I can still control him. Even if I get my ass kicked and I die, I still come out.
Because all the trouble started when Danny refused to kill anybody. So if he kills him, again, it's very facile writing, but it doesn't mean that it's bad.
No, I'm not saying it's bad.
Let me prove
it's
to you
just
that in my dying moment, prove to you that you're a hypocrite. Then actually your entire philosophy doesn't hold any water.
Sure. No, I got the idea of it. It was just pretty funny to come, like, because it just kind of felt like it came out of nowhere at the very end. It was like, he there was no build. There wasn't like a spot where he was like building up to that. It felt like, I don't know. It was funny to me. I don't think it's bad. It was just interesting that it was suddenly like he became the Green Goblin. You gotta kill me. You gotta kill me. Become what you hate. Jokerify it.
And then we can get the Unleashed sequel where he becomes, or Jet Li is the new Bob Hoskins. Oh, Releashed?
Unleashed 2, Releashed.
That's cool.
Yeah, it makes me want a hot dog.
No kidding.
Sorry. Sam and Victoria break out of their hiding spot, and again, hence it continues on with the eye of the duck, is that he's good at this violence. He's finally like turning it, and I wrote in my notes, the last note that I wrote, in fact, was dog bites man, we are the animals after all. Very,
It's almost like man was the monster.
Yeah.
What?
No, it's... So, Sam and Victoria have to literally physically restrain him and fight the philosophy that Bart is telling him that become me, kill me and become me, kill me and become me. And they tell him, like, no, you have a choice. Like, they give him, even while restraining him, they're telling him, like, it is your choice to do this. That's what separates us from when you were dogs. Nothing was under your control. Nothing was your choice. This is your choice. Choose to not kill him now. And Bart won't shut the fuck up. And I don't care. I love when this happens. Morgan Freeman smashes a pot against his head.
That was great.
I thought
that
was awesome too.
Up.
He will not shut up.
I thought that was really cool too.
That was very funny.
So
again, this movie really brings out the worst of my 18-year-old boy tendencies sometimes, or you're just watching it, I'm like, yeah, no, I get it.
So Bart is defeated. What happens to him doesn't really matter, because he doesn't.
Who
really
knows?
matter.
Who cares?
Like Danny is so fully in charge of his life that he's now. This is the end of their stay in England, and his collar has been replaced by a bow tie. It's another uncomfortable thing we all have to wear for the sense of propriety, but at least he chose to put it on. It wasn't thrust upon him.
Exactly.
And we're at she's gonna play the Mozart Sonata 11, which is the same song she played to help him recover his memories of his mother, and Danny officially comes full circle, and that's they fucking put a bow on it like they did with him.
I mean, really, put a bow on it. I did write at the end of this movie, I said, I don't know if this movie says anything, but it does not waste time.
No.
So ultimately, I fuck with it.
Yeah. It was fun. Based on what you guys had told me before going in, I mean, y'all didn't really spoil anything. It was just like you kind of gave me the gist of it. I didn't think I was actually going to like it. I felt like I was coming into something that... Because he's hit or miss for me. Jet Li's all over the place in that era. But ultimately, I came out... I enjoyed it. There's no real downtime. It's not dragging at any point. You know, it's got its quirks and stuff, but overall, it's fun. It's a fun movie with good action.
Even when the movie does start to drag, it's like an 87-minute movie. So it's like you're already moving on to the next scene before you even have a chance to get bored.
Correct, yeah.
And I think that's pretty nice because you don't see movies like that anymore.
It's this hybrid where it could be like it's two good movies put together, but they never reach the potential of what makes either of those good movies.
Either one, yeah.
So it's not enough of an action movie to be a good action movie, and that's what really sells you. And it's not enough of a My Fair Lady to like. There's not enough of that in there to like really just be like, oh, this is more of a character piece or what have you for this.
It's a short movie sandwiched between an action movie. It's got a frame tale of here's a cool action movie.
It is because even that part in the middle, like everything about that movie is almost completely different from the other parts that bookend it. Of just like the color tone is different.
Oh yeah,
the camera looks different. The sound is even a little bit different, and it's just like it is like watching a short film in between another short film. It's very weird.
Shove Amelie in the middle of a full length action movie. You're like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. That's there now.
I feel like though, like it comes from an earnest place, and it's kind of weird to like watch a movie where like they're just so dedicated to make like the bad guys like the worst shit you've ever seen in your life. But I think it came from a place of like, yeah, we're in halfway through the turn of the century, first decade of the turn of the century, and it's like French writer and director, collaborative team mixed with, Chinese and Hong Kong cinema mixed with a soundtrack by famed trip hop artists, Massive Attack, and include the RZA too, and it felt like this there was this thing going on in the 2000s which I like, and I think my favorite movie, Speed Racer, does it to the fullest extent, where it's this is what we want to define this era is that we all came together to make this.
Yes.
And
you
can't
can
be
see
mad
everybody's
at that.
Right. You get to see everyone's influences, and you get to see it feels like a very French movie at times, and then it also feels like a Hong Kong action movie at times. And
people were willing and desired to be collaborative, and it's a different feeling in that era.
Yeah, and I don't know how much of it you can chalk up to the fact that Kill Bill was so popular, and people were like, "Oh wait, the entire continent of Asia makes movies too? What?"
And they actually kick ass.
Yeah, so whether you're doing like Tarantino, where you're just straight up almost fucking remaking it, or you're doing something like this, where you're like, "No, these guys are players from this part of the world, and let's give you something." I literally also just don't know who this movie's for, but I think just the desire to put together something collaborative is the real
we established who it's for. It was literally for us at
exactly
age
that
17, 18 years old.
I wish I had seen it when it came out, because I would have actually been like, this movie is saying something, man. This is doing
no, and that's what I mean. This movie was made for the 17-year-old boy in high school or just graduating high school in 2005. For us to sit there and go, it just shows that movies, even though they're violent and full of action, they can still say something.
Yeah.
Yes. Vulgar.
I think this is the most vulgar movie we've watched so far, straight up.
Which is crazy, because we've seen
Fun.
Really
wanted that R rating, and it
actually
wasn't
disgusting.
It wasn't gonna. And I watched the unrated version of it, which is I looked it up. It's a minute and 30 more, so it's I think that's just blood. It's squibs.
Bob Hoskins hangs
I was
dong
wondering
in
what
that
did
one.
they add to it.
It's Bob Hoskins full frontal, actually.
Oh, really? Yeah. He's pulling out the hog.
Yeah, get out of my hard drive, Hunter.
Oh no, I'm going deeper. We're getting more Bob Hoskins.
Oh no. You don't R.I.P. to a fucking legend. I remember being
incredibly
sad because of how hard I loved, not necessarily Mario Brothers, but Roger Rabbit, but also now even going back, I didn't even watch Long Good Friday until a few years ago, and I was like, oh my god, this guy fucking rules.
Long Good Friday kicks ass. But also, I loved Mario. I loved the Mario Brothers as a kid too, because I've always said Mario Brothers is just Blade Runner for kids.
Yeah.
So I've always had a soft spot for that movie.
Yeah, it really is.
And I've always had a soft spot for Bob Hoskins in general because, Who Framed Roger Rabbit was on my list of movies I've watched probably more than any movie I've ever seen.
He's so good.
It's up there.
It's
I've
the
definitely
movie
worn the VHS of that and Dumb and Dumber out as a kid. Were like the ones where I burned that shit out till it was like no longer usable.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit confirmed to me that cartoons live in a separate reality that I can visit, and that's the future I wanted to live in. So,
and we're gonna get there. We will get our cartoon
called your
future.
friends, and you do a podcast together.
Well, I think that's a great place to end it.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to Bob Hoskins, a true legend. We did it.
Like birthday bro, like fucking. We're here to. I don't know. This is a strange pick, but I think absolutely like on the cusp of what we're going for. Like it's so emblematic of its time, and I don't think anything like it since.
You have to get a weirdly color graded martial arts film from the 2000s to kind of define what this generation was.
Film, but yes.
It has to look like you're watching it on your friend's portable DVD player in their bedroom while you're also playing PlayStation 2.
Call back from episode 1, but this, I think, would look great on UMD. This is the movie that was made to watch on your PSP.
Jet Li was made for UMD movies. I have the one on UMD, so I might have to watch it that way when we talk about the one, which we are talking about the one.
We're talking about the one. We're also. I want to do Kiss of the Dragon. I want to do Romeo Must Die. I want to
absolutely.
They're on the list.
All of them fucking in there.
All right. Well, that was Turn Off the Century, and now it's time to turn off the podcast.
Turn that podcast off.
Sauce Hunter.
Wait,
turn it off.
Every time you guys turn this podcast off, I feel pain. No, stop!